You're asking me out? That's so cute. What's your name again?
So a really common and easy situation is if a boy is asking a girl out. Now that we know this pathway of human behavior, we can reverse engineer it in order to figure out what your character's objective is. Hey friends, John here, and welcome to The Martial Actor. Today we're going to be going over how to find an acting objective. So an acting objective is a term that was first coined by Konstantin Stanislavski, and he created method acting, or the method. And it's a term that you'll hear get thrown around a lot as an actor. Now, when I first started acting, I wasn't exactly sure what it meant. So before we can start working on how to find an objective, first let's go over what is an acting objective. A lot of different people will define objectives in a lot of different ways, but for me, an objective is what my character wants in that moment. Now, there's a difference between an objective and a super objective. So there are certain things that both characters and people want out of life. We all want to be loved. We all want to be heard and seen and understood. We all want safety and stability. These are universal, primal, unchanging needs. These are called super objectives. So super objectives, again, are big picture things that all of us want for our entire lives. Objectives are short-term, practical steps that we take in order to meet a super objective. So unlike super objectives, which are unchanging and universal, objectives can change quickly, they're more practical, and they're smaller in scale. So now that we know what an acting objective is, we can now answer the question, how do we find an acting objective? My favorite way to find an acting objective is to break it down logically by looking at human psychology. So, human behavior is led by an underlying value system. Every human being on the planet has an underlying value system that drives their behavior. In other words, you can take anyone's value system and translate it into a series of super objectives, which then leads to objectives, which then leads to behavior. Now that we know this pathway of human behavior, we can reverse engineer it in order to figure out what your character's objective is. So once you have your script, you can analyze your character's behavior in a scene and reverse engineer it in order to find their objective. When you're analyzing your character's behavior, you need to look at what they're doing, what they're saying, what's the subtext, what's going on in the scene and in your character's mind in order to reverse engineer what their objective is. So a really common and easy situation is if a boy is asking a girl out.
You're asking me out? That's so cute. What's your name again?
If I'm playing a character who is a boy and is getting ready to ask a girl out, or is asking this girl out, or is dialing her number, or is trying to get her number, or whatever it is, I can see that behavior on the script. I can see that this character that I'm playing is taking these steps in order to try and ask this girl out. Now, I can guess that his super objective is to feel love or to feel loved, because that's, again, a universal base primal thing that everyone needs. So if I know that he wants to feel love and I know that he's trying to ask this girl out, his objective is probably to get a girlfriend. Now, that's a really easy example. Obviously, not all examples are going to be that easy, but that's one way you can use this system. Okay, let's look at a scenario that's a little bit more complex. So let's say I'm playing a father who is divorced from his wife, and I have a child, but I'm pretty absent from their life. So already we have some contradicting patterns of behavior here. Again, like this father's super objective is probably to feel love, but a lot of it is also probably to avoid pain, and those probably conflict in a lot of different ways. So if I am reading the script and I am seeing that this father has conflicting behaviors, has behaviors where, you know, he shows up for, let's say it's his daughter's second birthday party, but then refuses to be a constant or steady source of parental support in her life. Again, these behaviors are conflicting. It seems like they don't match up. But if we keep in mind that people are complex, and just like people, characters are complex, and that you can have objectives and super objectives that conflict with each other, you could say that like this father's objective on any given day is one, changing, but two, either to build a relationship with his daughter or to avoid the painful experiences that might occur when he interacts with his wife. Or perhaps it's to alleviate the guilt that he feels from being absent. Or maybe it's to enjoy the time that he can have with his daughter. And again, you want to be drawing these objectives from the script based on your character's behavior and how they're behaving in that scene. Obviously, the more complex the objective and the more complex your character, the harder this process is going to be, but it's still worth it and it will still work. You just have to put in the time and energy to think about what your character's super objective is, what their tactics or behavior is on the script, and then making up your mind about what their objective could be or should be. If this sounds like something that's interesting to you, let me know in the comments if you'd want me to break down a scene. I would be super happy to do that. I think it's super fun to do. And so I could pull out a script, or you guys could send me a side or a scene, and I would be happy to delineate the process in real time as an example for you all. So let me know if it's something you want to see. And that's it for today. So take care of yourself, take care of each other, and I'll see you next time. Konstantin Stanislavski. I'm like filming for my YouTube channel right now, but I can stop at any time, so come on over. Okay, see ya. Bye.